Monday Night Raw was all over the place. Random six-man tag, lots of promos, plus two chamber qualifying matches. Was it a miss? Or was it a good episode to progress storylines? I'm going to break it down. Make sure you drop it into the comments what your favorite segment was. I am MVP, and this is MVP Goes Raw. The Usos are out first and are immediately interrupted by the Vision. Logan Paul is bragging about selling his Pokemon card for $16 million. Pierce comes out and puts Bronson Reed in a chamber qualifying match for next week. And then LA Knight interrupts. The chickens have come out to roost. And all of a sudden he's Raw GM because he makes a six-man tag match. The Vision defeat the Usos and LA Knight. LA Knight hits BFT to Austin Theory on the outside, effectively taking him out of the match. LA Knight was then speared through the barricade by Bronson Reed and was taken out of the match himself. Usos hit 1D on Logan Paul. Bronson Reed gets the upper hand, hits a suicide dive to the Usos on the outside of the ring. He then throws Jey Uso over the announcer's table. Meanwhile, Logan Paul hits a right hand to Jimmy to set up a tsunami for the victory. After the match, Logan Paul starts running his mouth to Michael Cole. And then the masked man shows up and curb stomps him and runs away. And, continues that storyline. Now, you can tell by his eyes, he's got those very, blue eyes that Grayson Waller has, that this masked man is being played by Grayson Waller. But I think at the end, I really do think the masked man is going to be revealed to be Seth Rollins. We'll see where it goes. In the back, Adam Pearce gets a delivery, a huge wooden crate, and it says not to open until 2/28/26, which is the Elimination Chamber. This smells a lot like Chris Jericho. El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, wants an IC title match. Pierce says he's not just going to give him a title match, he's got to earn one. And then he gives him a match against Penta, and the winner of that becomes the number one contender for Dominik Mysterio's IC title. Asuka defeats Bayley and Natty by submission when she submits Bayley to the Asuka lock. And I feel Natty's character takes a big hit here because she's supposed to be, a tough MMA chick now, which she showed by using hammer fists and trying to be ruthless. But toward the end of the match, she gets incapacitated by a hip attack. And this is around 90 seconds where Asuka and Bayley were just going at it until the end of the match. So I really do think this match does. I do believe Natty's character does take a hit here, so we'll see where that goes. But Asuka is the winner and now qualifies for the chamber. More Obafemi contract teasing. He stood face to face with Rusev, and it's most likely going to end up with the match between them next week on Raw. Michael Cole has a sit-down interview with Liv Morgan and is immediately interrupted by Dom Mysterio, and just to be there by Liv's side. Then immediately after that, Stephanie Vaquer shows up and cuts a promo in Spanish, leaving Liv Morgan in tears. Now it's in Spanish and they didn't put subtitles, so I have a translation of her promo. So she says, "You're talking about hard work. What the hell are you talking about? You haven't sacrificed anything. WWE's handed you everything. You started your career here. You have the best doctors, the best trainers. You have everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, where wrestling doesn't exist, and still traveled to Mexico, to Japan, to Latin America, to Europe, conquered everything. You should be ashamed and hiding behind the Judgment Day. hiding behind a man. You need to hide behind a man. But I'll tell you something. I went through hell and I made it mine just to make it to WWE and become champion. This championship means more to me than just a title. It's for all the little girls and the women who haven't had the opportunity but still succeeded. Liv, if you choose me, you will not win because I'll show you what a real champion is. Now that's a pretty powerful promo. Not really sure if that should have elicited Liv Morgan into tears. Maybe if she said, uh, "I've been sleeping with Rey Mysterio for the past 2 months," maybe that could get Liv Morgan crying. But I mean, as powerful as this uh, promo was, I don't know. I don't think Liv Morgan should have been crying. That would be the reaction. Just me. CM Punk comes out and he talks about who he is and what he does and pisses people off, and people would only want him to be that way for I don't know the millionth time. Uh, Finn Balor comes out with Dominik Mysterio and JD McDonough, returning JD McDonough. Finn Balor talks about being the best in the world and basically talks about his wrestling journey through Japan, through Mexico, all over the world. CM Punk then says he knows who Finn is. No, who he was. You didn't have the Judgment Day when you were the best in the world in Japan and Mexico. You were alone. Side note, he did have Bullet Club in Japan, but that's neither here or there. CM Punk says he's been accused of being a smart man who does dumb things, and he's probably going to do something stupid, and then he turns around for the Judgment Day to beat him up. Says he's the best in the world and doesn't need to prove it. You jeopardize me, you jeopardize the main event of WrestleMania, and you jeopardize Finn's title shot. JD, he really wants to attack, but Finn just holds him back, stops him. Punk then leaves and throws the mic at Finn Balor's chest. A little bit later in the back, JD is annoyed at Finn. Why are you holding me back? We had our chance to weaken him before your match. Finn says, I don't I need to do it my way. If you want to help me, you need to stay out of it. I need to do it on my own. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are in the back talking about defending their tag titles on SmackDown. Talking about the chamber. The Kabuki Warriors show up, and Asuka says that they're not ready for the chamber. And then Kyrie guarantees victory for Asuka. Asuka then, shoos Kyrie off, kind of blows her off and leaves. And Io is kind of concerned for Kyrie. And then, the whole Asuka Kyrie stuff. Number one contenders match for the IC title. Penta defeats Kaiser Americano. Rayo and Bravo get involved. Bravo was going to go for the metal plate to give to Kaiser Americano, and then someone pulls Bravo underneath the ring. Turns out to be Gable Americano. He gives Rayo a suplex on the outside, then throws Bravo over the table. Kaiser is distracted, and Penta hits a springboard destroyer for the win. After the match, Penta and Gable Americano are standing in the ring, and Penta gives him a fist bump. Penta walks out, and Gable hits Kaiser with a suplex. He almost unmasks Kaiser, but Rayo and Bravo pull him out. So it's continuing the storyline between Gable and Kaiser, and most definitely going to be a mask versus mask match at this point. We'll see where that goes. AJ Lee comes out and talks about the last time she held a singles title over 10 years ago. The women's division was different, and it was a butterfly belt, but she still wore the title proud. Over conceited about herself, I know who the hell I am. There was a women's division before me. There will be one after me. And she wants to fight the best of the best. And then proceeds to name names: Bayley, Lyra, Charlotte, Alexa, the Judgment Day. But right now, all roads lead to Becky. She puts down Becky and says she gave her a 10-year head start and still hasn't caught up. AJ wants Becky to come out, because last week she got beat up, and calls her Becky Boo Boo. Becky comes out and they have a back and forth. Becky says in the last 10 years she's been making history. AJ has been making comics. After Elimination Chamber, you can make another comic book while you're in a full body cast. She can dictate about facing the greatest of all time, and maybe that will help her sell more comics. AJ Lee says they're going to fight for the title at Chamber, but how about we fight right now? And then she invites Becky into the ring, puts her hands behind her back, and says she'll give Becky the first shot. Becky hesitates and ultimately backs down. This very, very, very reminiscent of CM Punk's interaction with the Judgment Day. I don't know what they're doing, putting both of them in the same type storylines. But AJ Lee has her match at Chamber. The main event: Javon Evans defeats Dominik Mysterio and Gunther. Dom goes for the ring bell hammer, and Gunther intercepts the hammer. And then out of nowhere, Dragon Lee comes out and attacks Gunther with the ring bell. And then it leads to Javon hitting the cutter on Dom Mysterio to win the match. Now, when Gunther was advertised for this match, I'm pretty sure everyone was thinking Gunther was going to go over and be in the Chamber. I didn't think that was the way to go. I didn't know how they were gonna get out from this, but it seems like Gunther losing here, but not really, was the way to go. Obviously, he doesn't have his business with Dragon Leaves not over, so um, it was announced that AJ Styles is gonna have a tribute next week on Raw. Um, Fully expect Gunther to interrupt that, and Dragon Lee also to interrupt it too. So this is not the last between Gunther and Dragon Lee. And that was Monday Night Raw. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. We drop wrestling content for you all the time. And in the description, we have a link tree to all our affiliates. You're gonna buy WWE merch. You're gonna buy the new Yeet shirt. You're gonna buy the new OTC1 hoodie. You can buy that, and you should, but you should use our link, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it throws us a little kickback, and um, it goes a long way to help your boys at Triple Threat Wrestling. This was MVP Goes Raw. I'm MVP and you're not. See you later.